6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
TalkSports Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, Matthew Etherington. Adrian Clark's with us. Chris Iwelumo, fresh from the gym.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah, who makes it 2 to Liverpool. One chance, one goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on talksport.com.
You're listening to TalkSports coverage of Watford against Manchester United from Vicarage Road. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Southampton Premier League defender, Francis Bernali. This is Premier League Live. Javi Gracia says Watford are in a good moment right now. That's an understated assessment from an understated manager. The Hornets have been magnificent in their opening weeks of this season, personified by their come-from-behind win against Tottenham here a fortnight ago. Vicarage Road is a ground where the home side feel they can beat anyone. They'll need all that intensity again to take on Manchester United, despite the reports of their demise in recent months. Mourinho was able to mastermind a hard-fought win at Burnley before the break, ending the match celebrating with the fans in the away end. Forget the sideshows. This side have shown they can ground out a win at the toughest of old-fashioned stadiums, just like the one they're in today. You've just been hearing a round of applause around Vicarage Road. Javi Gracia showing the fans here a little trophy because, of course, he got Manager of the Month this time around. A great achievement for the Watford boss.
Was indeed, Tom, and very well deserved as well, I'd say. And the only thing I think as a manager you'd worry, does that then reflect in the next performance or result that your team playing? Because we've seen it in the past, haven't we? That players, managers have received these honours, and all of a sudden things go a little bit pear-shaped. So yeah, it's going to be a fascinating game. Can't wait, but it's important that both these sides start the game well to stamp their authority in this kind of fixture.
We are underway. I've got to tell you, Watford have really put on a show today. The fans opposite us, in the individual sections of that stand, the Sir Elton John stand, they have got yellow shirts and black shirts in individual sections, so the whole stand is striped black and yellow. Fantastic from the organisers here at Vicarage Road, who always put on a great entertaining show for supporters. I'll run through the 11s for you shortly. There's Romelu Lukaku is almost released round the back. He is offside, so I can now run through those teams. For Watford, Ben Foster is in goal. Back 4 left to right of Jose Holebas, Christian Cavaselli, Craig Cathcart and Daryl Janmat. Midfield 2, Abdoulaye Doucouré and Etienne Capoue. Will Hughes and Roberto Pereira just in front of those two, buzzing around in both wide and central areas, with Troy Deeney and Damari Gray up front. On the bench, it's Gomez, Mariappa, Isaac Success, Messina, Sema, the Sweden player, Chalobah and Kiko Firmino. For Manchester United, David De Gea is in goal. Back 4 left to right of Ashley Young, in for Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, Chris Smalling and Antonio Valencia. Fellaini, Pogba, Matic in the midfield, with Jesse Lingard and Alexis Sanchez supporting Romelu Lukaku. Bench is Bailly, Mata, Martial, Grant, Fred, Darmian and McTominay. Mike Dean is our referee today. Manchester United kick towards the goal on our right hand side in this first half, wearing their pink third strip today, which is very light dusky pink with shorts of white. Watford kick from right to left. They have got yellow and black striped shirts on with black shorts and black socks. Ashley Young down the left-hand side, former Watford man, of course, scored some great free kicks in this game last season, brings United forward, cross towards Lukaku, saved down low to his right by the former United keeper Ben Foster.
Great opportunity already. We're just seeing that, Lukaku just pulling off of Cavaselli losing him just in behind, and the ball was, it's a decent touch, but probably just a little bit too far away. Sometimes a little bit of a criticism to Lukaku, his first touch at times, and it just ran wide, enabled Foster to get and smother the ball. But danger signs already. Sure, just saw in the first minute as well, Tom, there was a 50-50 between Kabasele and Lukaku going for a ball, and Lukaku literally just flexed his muscles. Kabasele bounced off him onto the floor. This is going to be a fascinating matchup between the two of them today.
Two big physical presences in this matchup at Vicarage Road, this top of the table clash with Watford, currently the side higher in the Premier League. Alexis Sanchez down the left hand side, cross towards the back post with the right boot. It's behind Pogba, it's behind Lukaku, and it's a back heel from Pereira that gets Watford moving back up the field, challenged by Fellaini, who's dyed his hair even golder than usual. Usually it's half black, half gold, but looks a little bit like a rejected Oscar. I'm trying a few out.
I'm finding how we go.
Okay, I'll find another one during the game. I'll see what it's like. Ball's out of play. Challenge on the marauding Watford player, and it's a throw into the Hornets on the left-hand side, just over the halfway. Such a big fan of Roberto Pereira. I always think this of him, that if he could stay fitter, he'd be at a top six, certainly European club of some ilk, but because he can't stay fit for long enough, it's a great fit here being at Watford. When he plays, I always think he looks fantastic.
Oh, he's got great talent and ability, isn't he? But he's just moving a little bit gingerly after that last challenge there, just walking a little bit of a knock-off. I'm sure from Watford's perspective they'll hope that it's nothing too serious and he'll be okay, but yeah, scoring goals as well. He can stay fit, he's creative as well, certainly a threat to Manchester United.
Argentinian international, brought in from Juventus a couple of years ago now, has struggled with injury as we mentioned, but certainly a real talent, as is Abdoulaye Doucouré, whose shot there from the edge was always spinning wide. Goal kick from United, pumped up field, will be turned all the way back to David De Gea from Lindelof, who's going to have a tough challenge today, the Swedish central defender, up against the movement and power of Deeney and Gray. Coming forward now are Watford towards the run on this left-hand side of Troy Deeney.
I think Watford realise that a side of Man United's quality, Tom, are going to have spells of possession of the football, and they're going to have to defend and be patient at times, but with the form that they're in the home, especially playing at home, I feel it's down to Watford to really press and set the tempo of the game, to set about United and sort of force them into some maybe even mistakes as well.
Hughes back to Doucouré, left-hand side, crossfield ball intercepted by a combination of Sanchez and Young, and Sanchez looks to play in Lingard, but Lukaku just steps across and does find a pass though to Sanchez, then Ashley Young on the left-hand side, left-footed crosses straight to Ben Foster. 5 minutes gone, Watford 0, Manchester United 0. Just felt like if Lukaku had let that go, maybe he got the call from Lingard that Jesse Lingard may have been in.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of lack of communication, or it was a little bit late to shout if Lingard did say anything to Lukaku at all, but the ball eventually working its way out to Ashley Young, and the cross wasn't the greatest, to be honest. Quality needs to be better coming into the box.
Ball is pumped upfield towards Troy Deeney. Fellaini wins that header. Valencia down the line. Holebas picks it up for Watford, midway inside the Manchester United half. Back to Capoue, square to Doucouré. Cathcart back to Doucouré. Watford having got the spell on the ball for the first time in the game. United have had the lion's share of possession in the opening 6 minutes. Up towards Gray. I don't think he's touched the ball yet. Doesn't quite find him. Header away by Smalling, went to Hughes, who then flicked it towards Gray, who again didn't get on the ball.
Looks like Mourinho sent his team out by saying, well, let's face fire with fire a little bit. Let's take the game to Watford. Ball going back to Cathcart there, who's put under quick and sharp pressure. They're certainly not standing off the Man United.
Pogba flicks on a high ball towards Lukaku, intercepted by Christian Kabasele. Growing into a real dependable Premier League central defender, Christian Kabasele, after being a bit of an also-ran talent here, certainly last season. United coming forward. Poor ball from Matic into Alexis Sanchez, played the Chilean into trouble, and Watford can break away. Deeney finds Doucouré down the right-hand side, over the halfway, held up well by Marouane Fellaini. Back towards Janmat. Watford keep possession, United regroup. That's good play by the Manchester United midfield. Still coming forward though, Watford. Gray round the corner to Hughes, right hand side. Janmat ahead of him. Here he is now, Darry Janmat. Young has slipped over. Janmat is crossing away from the head of Matic. Behind Pereira. Lingard back defending on the right hand side will bring Manchester United forward. Up toward the halfway, Holebas is with him. The Watford man knocks the ball out for a throw.
Watford the one fullbacks getting forward. Janmaat on that occasion, Young just slipping, gave him the opportunity to put the ball into the box pretty much unopposed, but Holebas as well, they'll have that responsibility, I think, both fullbacks to try and get up, support the midfielders and the attackers, provide the service coming into the box for Gray and Deeney. He certainly wants to, he doesn't want to be running around too much. He wants to be laying the ball off, getting into the box, then he wants quality coming in.
Good challenge by Hughes. Deeney looks to slip in Gray from the halfway line with an early ball. Smalling looked like he'd read it. Ball was too heavy anyway. Goes through to the blue-kitted David De Gea in the United goal. Away to our left. Slightly too heavy there from Deeney, but you can see the moment he got on that ball, he looked up, he looked for Gray, who was on the move. Just poorly executed that time.
Set pieces could be key today as well, Tom. I mean, we saw both of Watford's goals against Tottenham, from a free kick, one from a free kick, one from a corner. That gives them the opportunity to get Deeney in the dangerous area in the box, bring the big guys up as well. That'll be interesting to see how Manchester United deal with that threat.
Cope well with Watford's threat so far, have Jose Mourinho's side. Ball down the left channel towards Ashley Young, intercepted by the head of Hughes. Janmaat has then won the ball ahead of Alexis Sanchez. He just wanted that ball more than Manchester United's big money man. Holebas over the halfway line, leaves it for Pereira, who comes back in field, just over the halfway, left hand side. Run being made by Gray, is read by Lindelof. Smalling then hooks it clear over the shoulder. Sanchez forward then to Jesse Lingard, who controls on the stomach and drives forward. Holebas is with him. Jose Holebas, who's in the form of his career right now, is able to smuggle the ball away from Jesse Lingard and find a pass back to Foster. Foster up towards Andre Gray, who controls, but on the arm, says referee Mike Dean. Frustrated is Andre Gray, but it's hard to disagree with the call there of the referee Mike Dean. Is up, and that's a clear handball from Andre Gray. Just a reminder, you can tweet Franny and I in the commentary positions. Let us know where in the world you're listening. At TalkSport Live is the place to get in touch. Cal Ali has done just that. He says, I doubt United will get anything from this game. Chin up, mate. Come on, it's only been 10 minutes. And says, Jose must go. I'm tired of this. Surely you can't be tired of a game like this. Fantastic action so far, 10 minutes gone. Here's Lingard on the right-hand side, away from the right boot of Christian Cavaselli, only as far as Fellaini, who did push Deeney, and that will be a free kick to Watford just inside their own half.
Yeah, probably a little nudge there, Mike Dean getting that decision right, but just a few seconds before that, Lingard on the right hand side with time and space to he's right now near the touchline, so he was pretty deep, but quality's got to be coming in. If you Lukaku stood in the middle, you're saying, come on guys, put the ball in the box with a little bit more quality than what we're seeing at the moment.
Flick on by Deeney, away by United as far as Pereira, who's beaten Fellaini but doesn't get away from Antonio Valencia, looking to keep him in the corner is Pereira, but the Argentinian is the last to touch that ball, and it's out of play off of the Watford man for a throw to United. Pogba's pass into Lingard, intercepted by Holebas, out of play for a throw on this near side.
It's obviously an 11-11 game, Tom, goes without saying, but there's some, these individual battles that you have in little different departments. We've mentioned a few of them already, but that'd be a great one as well. Pereira and Valencia, Valencia, great athlete, likes to get forward himself. Pereira, we wanted to sort of pin him back in his own half and try and get forward, get on Valencia on the back foot, see if we can take him on, whipping some dangerous crosses possibly. But there's some interesting little matchups on the pitch here today.
Another one there as Fellaini beats Deeney in the air in the midfield and gets United on the ball. Pogba looks for Lingard, trying to flick it through to Lukaku, challenged by Janmaat, breaks back to Alexis Sanchez, just left of centre, finds Matic, outright to Antonio Valencia, midway inside the Watford half. Time to whip in a deep cross towards Jesse Lingard. It's over his head, it's picked up by Ashley Young, back towards Pogba. Pogba on the edge, dummies, then shoots. Pogba on target from Paul Pogba, clean connection, but straight at Ben Foster.
Yeah, great strike. Just Ashley Young just laying the ball back to Pogba, 5 or 6 yards out the outside the 18-yard box, cuts back onto his left foot. It was a pretty comfortable save, I'd say. It didn't look too convincing to trouble Foster, did it really? But he's dived to his right-hand side. Pretty comfortable, I'd say, but sometimes I think Watford just need to come out and close any of that threat on the edge of the box a little bit quicker.
Oh, lovely drag back turn by Hughes on the edge, a shot too by Will Hughes. Lovely play by the Watford man. Took that ball under real pressure, but the shot is saved down low to his left by De Gea. United looking to break up the other end, but door is slammed shut by Watford. And that really was a lovely turn, wasn't it, by Will Hughes on the edge, who's another player. Seems like the common story with Watford, who struggled with injury since his move here from Derby County. Was it last summer the move was made? He played a few games, then was injured for an extended period of time, but a real talent, and a young talent at 23 as well.
Yeah, wonderful skill, as you said, Tom, and just drifting in from the right-hand side, picking it up on the edge of the D outside the 18-yard box, and lovely little turn, left-footed shot. Again, not really too much for David De Gea to be troubled by, but quite an open game, I'd say. Both sides look like they're trying to go for this.
Watford nothing to lose with the start they have had, and United everything to prove as an attacking force, as Pogba's cross is intercepted brilliantly by Etienne Capoue, who is very much a form player. When he's out of it, it can last a long time. When he's in it, he looks like a real world-beating central midfielder, and it's one of those times where every Watford player seems to be in form simultaneously. A rarity in football, and the Hornets fans are loving it. Defending to do here, though, as the ball is clipped through to Pogba. Cathcart steps across and shepherds that ball out of play for a goal.
Lovely little bit of movement and play tight in the corner from United, but came to nothing. Great bit of experience and composure from Cathcart, just letting the ball run out for a goal kick. Certainly the supporters are doing their best to play their part within this game as well. Great atmosphere at the stadium. Just want a goal soon, maybe.
Yeah, a couple of shots from the edge, but no one's got round the back of a defence as yet. Maybe now, as Capoue's header forward is away by Smalling. Matic then beats Etienne Capoue. Decore beats Lukaku. Cathcart forward again, looking straight for that front two. Good win by Capoue on Matic. Sliding challenge by Smalling. Goes up in the air. Foster comes out. Lukaku chasing him. Foster, all in red, boots the ball up in the air. Won well by Holebas, but Fellaini intercepts. Kicks it straight against Holebas, and Watford can get on the ball. Lingard is then clipped. A Watford man, is it Capoue? I think it is. We will play on. Holebas was looking forward for an option. No one moved for him. Mike Dean has given the free kick. Interesting there, though. Holebas was screaming at someone. Was it Gray on the far side not making a run?
I'm not quite sure. I wasn't sure if his frustration was maybe a little bit at the referee. Watford were in possession of the football. It was down to his teammate to take the initiative and play forward. They were in decent possession without any real pressure from United at the moment, and then Mike Dean brought whistled for the foul to be brought back. A little bit of a strange one.
Crossfield ball to the feet of Janmat. Deep cross towards Troy Deeney, who's got a run. That's good defending by Smalling. Volleyed away by Lingard up towards Lukaku. Christian Cabaselli gets across, and once again Watford on the ball. Foster with an awkward chip to Cathcart, who dealt with it well on the chest. Decore up towards Deeney, in towards Pereira on the edge. Pereira back heel to Deeney. Fellaini intercepts. Deeney again! Oh, what a save! What a save by David De Gea from Troy Deeney. It's an instep strike that was flying in the top corner from the big Watford striker, and David De Gea makes yet another world-class save.
Absolutely incredible. It's great play from Watford. The chest down from Deeney initially to Pereira. I wondered why Pereira didn't take the shot on initially, but he cut back, laid the ball back off to Deeney, and as you say, what a fantastic save.
Unlucky there from Watford. Pereira and Deeney combining, nearly breaking down Manchester United. Corner on the right hand side for the Hornets. 4 men around the penalty spot to aim for. Deeney being marked by Smalling. Keep your eye on that one as Holebas whips this ball in from the right hand side. It is towards Cabaselli. Well won by Fellaini. Then Pogba further away. Then Valencia lumps that ball upfield, looking for Lingard. Decore's beaten him to it. Finds a sensible pass out left to Hughes. Return ball from Hughes, who was asking a lot of Decore. Fellaini steps across, clears it upfield. United back on it with Jesse Lingard. Smart play as ever from the enterprising and energetic Jesse Lingard, but poor pass forward from Alexis Sanchez, aiming for him, gives it away. Hughes then beats Sanchez to the ball, forward to Gray on the edge of the penalty area, who's gone down. He's saying there that there is basically no free kick there from Mike Dean, and I'm surprised by that. It looked like a clip to me. Gray certainly thinks so.
Yeah, no, I would probably agree without having seen a replay at all. The initial gut feeling was there was some sort of contact, certainly from the reaction from Gray in the first place. Turning around, throwing his arms out to Mike Dean and his assistant to say, well, where's the whistle?
Looked like a trip, and if he hasn't tripped him and he has dived there, that's a real error of judgment from Andre Gray, because he was round the back, as is Hughes on the right hand side now. Young gets back well, does some good defending. He's actually kept it on well there, Ashley Young, then tried to nutmeg Will Hughes. Not too sure that's the smartest thing to do in that situation, but it has come off Hughes. And would you have done that as a full-back in that situation?
I think one or two of my teammates and the management would have a thing or two to say to me if I tried that in that area of the pitch, Tom. I'd agree. I think I'd be trying to play it up the field like Ashley Young's just tried to, up to Lukaku near the halfway line. Probably the safer option, I'd say.
A natural instinct, though, from a man who's played on the wing for 15, 20 years of his life.
Very true, very true. It was great composure.
Oh, no, it's well put. Generously put from Fanny Bernardi. On the right hand side, United coming forward. Pogba finds Valencia. It's back to Mara and Fellaini. Just over the halfway line. It's right to Pogba, will chip it out to the left. Lingard buzzed over to that side now against the Hornets. It's back to Ashley Young, just over the halfway. Former Watford man getting gentle boos from the home crowd. Nothing too strong so far, but then he's not found the top corner with a free kick this year as yet. Spawning right to Valencia. So important territory here for United, who've been on the back foot for the last few minutes.
Watford just seem happy to sit in that shape. 4-4-2, just covering the areas. They're well drilled. You can see they've practiced this on the training ground. There's going to be times when United are going to have decent spells of possession, but at the moment they're not really going anywhere.
Maybe now. Ball over the top towards Lukaku. Diagonal run centre to left, but he is offside as he got into the Watford penalty area. Didn't control the ball anyway from Ashley Young. Good trap by Cabaselli and Cathcart. And that's going to be a free kick in the penalty area to Watford. 20 minutes gone. Watford 0, Manchester United 0. Premier League on.
I think that's crucial, Tom. Like the communication between Cathcart and Cabaselli. When there's a lone striker playing up against two centre halves like they are today. Lukaku naturally wants to play in between them if he can, right? To almost like confuse the two of them, to ask the question of, well, which one of you are going to pick me up? So hopefully he'll be hoping that neither one will, and a little bit like that United almost got in on that occasion. He can make a little run in between them. It's just then down to the delivery and the quality of the ball that he receives.
No real quality in delivery so far for either side. What a snapshots on the edge, the only real chances. One from Deeney a couple of moments ago. United at the other end from Pogba from much further out. It's United over the halfway line, left hand side, down the line to Romelu Lukaku. Cathcart is with him by the corner flag. Challenged by Cathcart. Lukaku recovers, still got it. Wants a release pass. Sanchez is there. Lukaku bundles his way backwards and finds Matic, whose goal side of Gray. Crossing the penalty area, blocked by Capu. Upfield by Hughes. Bouncing in the air to Lindelof, who controls on the halfway line. Fellaini back to Lindelof again. Victor Lindelof under pressure will look all the way back to David De Gea. It's the kind of ball that supporters tend to dislike. Is that the right thing to do there with Lindelof? Could he have gone forward?
Yeah, you often hear moans and groans, don't you? I mean, it takes, you retain possession, but if you're in that close to the halfway line, and there's a forward pass on, try and play it. Why go back or sideways for the sake of it?
What do you make of Victor Lindelof? I know he's had a lot of detractors since he's been at England. In England, are you one of those?
Yeah, I'm still to be convinced, Tom. I'll be honest. I don't see that presence or the performances that you would expect, or we have seen from players that played for Manchester United or play such a key position as well. This is a role that you need someone with some real authority in. Although he's a good player, I don't see the level of performances that really almost warrant an automatic name on the team sheet for me so far.
Does have defensive problems, Jose Mourinho. Eric Bailly's gone from number one defender to one of the least popular players in the training ground, let's put it that way. Phil Jones perennially injured, Marcos Rocco perennially injured. It's almost like they should have bought a centre-half during the summer window. Let's not bring it up. Valencia's cross hits the back of Holland. It's picked up by Matic on the edge of the penalty area. Volleyed out left, behind him to Young, who's done really well to control on the chest. Dummies to cross on the right. Carries the ball down the left. Does eventually cross. Must have been deflected on the far side by one of those Watford defenders. I think it was. That's going to be a corner to Manchester United, won by Ashley Young.
Corner piece for both sides now, Tom. You know, Manchester United dealt with it defensively very well last time. You know, it'll be interesting to see how they got something up their sleeve just to try and create that little yard or half yard that a player may need to get a free header in.
Corner on the left-hand side. Fellaini just inside the penalty area with Pogba and Smalling in the centre. Lingard just behind them. Two in the 6-yard box, Lukaku and Sanchez. Young's delivery towards the back post. Well, Foster came out, flapped at it. He has got something on that ball. Decore kept it on, but all he's done is pass it straight to Manchester United. Matic in the centre of the field will find Pogba back to goal. Decore with him. It's right to Fellaini. Fellaini's got Valencia outside of him. Here he is now. Back in field to Nemanja Matic. Three at the back post screaming forward. Up towards Alexis Sanchez. Controlled by Sanchez. Volleyed in by Sanchez. But the offside flag had long since been raised.
There must have been good communication from the Watford defence. They squeezed up a little bit when Matic was on the ball, and it could have been any one or two, but the ball dropping to Sanchez. I feel that the officials got that one correct. Just seeing a replay of the initial corner coming in now. Foster did flap at that a little bit. It was only Sanchez who was in front of him. It's not like it was one of the giants of the United side that he had to come and claim the ball from. So, you know, I'd say that was an error in judgment from Foster's perspective, and certainly the way he remonstrated with the referee feeling he was fouled. I saw very little contact, if any at all, on that.
No contact with the player or the ball. He's just come out, totally missed everything. We got lucky there, Ben Foster, you got to say.
Need to see a little bit more from Sanchez. I think, you know, there's certain players in a game like this. There's that obvious physical matchup that we're seeing amongst some of the bigger players in the game. That will naturally sort of work its way out through the match. But you need the little creative players, the lively ones, the Sanchez's of the team, as I say, to try and provide that quality to the other players.
Just hasn't really clicked as yet at Manchester United for Alexis Sanchez since that big money move. Just a couple of goals at the back end of last season. Not scored again this season. We do know he has got great talent though, and he's found round the back here, down the left-hand side, by the corner flag, up against Janmat, who stood strong. Sanchez wants to keep it in, does. Janmat bites back again. Will it come good for him, do you think, at Manchester United?
When he moved initially, I thought, you know, what a great signing and a great opportunity for, again, to him to go into a club that, you know, historically got that tradition of competing at the highest level, winning trophies, and I thought he would have been a key part of that. But as you say, Thomas, it just hasn't really clicked for him yet so far, is it? And you know, as time, the longer it goes on, the more and more questions will be asked, because the quality's there without saying, but he needs to produce it in a United shirt.
Hasn't really endeared himself to United supporters so far, but maybe today is that day. It's the other wing at the moment for United as Valencia comes forward. Another slow starter in a Manchester United shirt, has gone on to become a legend for the club, a captain for the club. Leaves it for Lingard. Fellaini on the overlap. Strange sight. Decided not to go to him. Maybe not surprising. Work down the other wing. Pogba will find Ashley Young. Young's cross towards Matic, away by Cathcart, picked up by Janmat, finds Decore, smuggled away well. Great play by Decore, releasing Deeney. Deeney looked early towards Gray, it was the right ball, and for the second time, poorly executed in that position from Troy Deeney. Manchester United back on the ball, Pogba forward, intercepted by Cathcart, who's been everywhere today for Watford. And it's upfield by Janmat, controlled by Gray. Back to Dini, then Capu. Out left to Holebas, up over the halfway line. Jose Holebas finds the run of Pereira. Smalling's been pulled out. Pereira cuts inside of him. Challenged by Valencia. Good covering defending there by Valencia, running back towards his own goal, and that's a corner to Watford.
It's a better build-up, better play for Watford on that occasion. Dini being sloppy a little bit on that pass. Yes, he was trying to release Gray, but it helps, I think, Watford when they can play out with one or two passes rather than being that obvious counter-attacking side. Getting a few more players to join in with the attack enables them to move up the pitch as a team.
Corner this time on the attacking left-hand side. Dini by the penalty spot again with Smalling. Cavaselli just behind. Holebas with the out-swinging corner to come. Mike Dean will have his eyes on Shirt pulling in the penalty area. Holebas's delivery. It's going to be headed away without any pressure from Matic, but it's picked up by Decore. All he can do though under pressure is head it forward. It's cleared away rashly by United. Breaks to Capu on the right hand side. Deep ball towards Troy Deeney. Well won by Smalling. It was not really aimed at Deeney, who tried to make something of it. Smalling defended well. It's a throw on this near side.
I'm always intrigued when teams take outswingers from corners, because as a defender I always disliked an in-swinging corner. I always found it harder to defend, so it almost gave me an advantage, an outswinger, to go and attack the ball and clear it.
You're asking for the attacker to do a lot more with the ball as well. Changing its direction totally as Pereira's ball is swung in this time from the left, over the head of Gray, over the head of Lindelof, and that's going to be a goal kick to Manchester United. As we approach half an hour gone, it's Watford 0, Manchester United 0 on Premier League Live. Of course, we are back with you tomorrow. Further action in the Premier League as Wolverhampton Wanderers take on Burnley in the early game. Everton take on pointless West Ham in the late match. West Ham, the only team in English football, the 92-team pyramid, not to have a point so far this season. Can they get it at Goodison Park? Monday, Southampton up against Brighton and Hove Albion. Still some big games to come in the Premier League. Of course, victory today for Chelsea and Liverpool put them joint top. Watford hoping to join them with a victory here. Decore forward, challenged by Matic on Deeney again, giving Troy Deeney some rough treatment, and United doing well to keep the Watford captain off the ball. Lingard coming forward now for United, but he's been trapped well by Cathcart. Steps across the Watford man to get them back on the ball, up towards the chest of Deeney, in towards Gray, then ran into Deeney. But he has found a release to Pereira. Pereira to Decore, on the edge, gets the shot blocked by Fellaini, challenged by Pogba, breaks to Matic, who back heels it very calmly to Smalling, who clears. Cavaselli has then beaten Lukaku in the air. Good control by Jose Holebas to start Watford driving forward again. His poke through ball is cleared away, only as far as Capu. Decore will pick it up in the centre circle, back towards Cathcart, work right to Janmaat. 30 minutes gone, on the halfway, up towards Deeney. Smalling heads it back towards De Gea, who's got a scramble to keep it on. He does keep it on. You've got to say that Chris Smalling has done very well dealing with the physical presence of Troy Deeney so far.
I think both defences, Tom, have looked strong, looked solid, looked composed. You can see the confidence that Watford are playing with, individually and collectively. They look comfortable, they look solid, and we're seeing that from some of the players, Smalling as well, as you said.
Sanchez picks up a loose ball on the edge of the area, driving forward too. Oh, what a great save by Ben Foster. Blasted on target by Alexis Sanchez. A chance all of his own making, and that's a big hand by Foster to knock the ball over the top.
Yeah, there's a long clearance from De Gea, and Lukaku just getting a little touch. Sanchez talking about him, and he needs to get into this game a little bit more, and that's what we need to see from him. United need that from him. Took a little glance up, ball was running away from goal a little bit, but a great save from Foster. Left hand, two corners apiece now.
Top stop by the former United man. Ashley Young on the right hand side with an out swinging corner. They're all doing it. Two arms go up, 6 in the box to aim for, 4 around the penalty spot. Quite narrow here, Ashley Young, as he chips it towards the back post. Headed back infield by Smalling. It's away by Watford. Matic trying to step across Andre Gray, and he had to work for it really hard. He won it in the end though, did the Manchester United man. Out to Young, in towards Pogba. Right hand side, bit of space to find a pass. Does find a pass. Up in the air towards Lingard on the left. Forward to Sanchez. Looks for a return ball to Jesse Lingard. Finally, they've given Alexis Sanchez someone to work with on the left hand side. Lingard's ball in. It's away by Cabasset. Only as far as Fellaini, whose ball was poor, intercepted by Hughes. And Watford can spring the counter here. There's a foul on Bray by Lindelof. They nearly managed to continue to play on, but Deeney's pass towards the overlapping Hughes was intercepted, and Mike Dean will then give the free kick.
I don't think for 1 minute it was an intentional foul from Lindelof, but if you are, as a centre-half or a defender, going to make a foul, especially on a counter-attack like that, it's probably the best place for it to happen, sort of in there at your opponent's half. No real threat then, it takes the pace out of the counter-attack, gives you a chance to get back and get organised.
Hughes and Deeney on the edge combining. Deeney will find Hughes again, back to goal, turns forward, shot at goal is blocked. Sanchez back defending, looks to release Paul Pogba, another man who's been very quiet in this game. Holebas with some brilliant skill on this near side. It's just going out of play and he's lobbed it back into his own path and carried the ball forward. Fantastic from Holebas. Pereira back to Holebas again. Great to see players in form as these two are. Great skill by Pereira in the penalty area, away from three but not away from Nemanja Matic. Just tried to do too much there, Roberto Pereira. Up towards Lingard as Manchester United look to counter. Capoue, well, that's a professional foul if I ever saw one, and that's going to be a yellow card to Etienne Capoue, and I think it's fair. He was going to stop Jesse Lingard there by any means necessary.
Yeah, I mean, not quite as cynical as we saw him standing on the Achilles of I think was it in the Crystal Palace game?
Yeah, wasn't it? Should have been a straight red.
That was nasty. That was a nasty challenge. But this one nowhere near that. But it was an intentional bundle on Lingard to the, push him to the floor, or knock him to the floor. But again, just gives Watford a chance to get back, get organised, get set on the edge of the 18-yard box now.
Yeah, that one against Palace was really nasty and should have been a red, and then should have been some sort of retrospective punishment for me. It was that bad. Nothing like that today, but a clear yellow card for Etienne Capoue. Young will clip the free kick towards the right hand side. Controlled on the chest by Fellaini, whose cross is deflected behind everyone in the area. Smalling recovers, back to Young, left footed cross in the area. Romelu Lukaku! The offside flag doesn't go up, and Romelu Lukaku, the flat track bully, has scored again. Foster came out, he's looking at his back foot, asking where they were. It's come off the thigh in the end of Romelu Lukaku, I think. It doesn't matter for Manchester United what it's come off. It matters where it's finished, and that's the back of the net. 1-0.
Yeah, the Watford players are surrounding Mike Dean, remonstrating. They're obviously appealing for offside, I guess, but their first instinct of the Watford players was to look across to the assistant player. And I don't think the initial ball into Fellaini, he does well, he takes it down. There's that little deflection you mentioned about. Then the ball got played back. The Watford defence, they might have a case. At best it might be level just seeing the replay, but Lukaku just loitered in there a little bit. It took a little scuffy deflection and it was Lukaku who got the final touch to take it past Foster, but no real movement beyond the Watford defence. It was United who were on the front foot, reacting best and sharpest. Might have even come off his midriff, off his stomach, but United take the lead 1-0.
4 starts this season, 4 goals in the Premier League for Romelu Lukaku, and it just, I think they might even be claiming it's come off his arm potentially. It hasn't come off his arm. I don't think he's offside. I'm not too sure Watford have got anything to complain about here, not certainly anything that I can see. And Manchester United, I've got to say, for another game, have ground out the lead at a tough place to go.
Most definitely, yeah. But similar to the Spurs game, possibly. We saw Tottenham had chances, then they took the lead, I think, didn't they? And Watford were able to come back, and they just, I think they sensed in that game that they were still in the match, very much so. So it's very much a case of staying in the game now.
Maybe they won't, as Lukaku from the edge takes the drive at goal. And it's saved well by Foster. It was actually Pogba in the end who took the shot. It was a good breakaway by United. Found on the edge, lightning fast stuff, and just for a moment, for the first time this season really, Watford looked really open.
Another good save from Foster, but ball just swerving. Pogba's right foot shot at goal. they've just got to keep their heads a moment. Yes, they'll be rocked by the initial goal, but they don't want to find themselves too behind, otherwise that could be too much to come back from.
Another good save by Ben Foster, who's had some good moments in this match. Ashley Young with another corner on the right hand side. Low ball in this time, struck at goal by Pogba. Worked really well, a wonderful connection from Pogba. Struck, I think, Etienne Capoue in the penalty area. It's flying towards the goal. Not too sure Capoue knew too much about it, but right place, right time.
Yeah, just getting enough on it to take it away from goal, and almost reminds me a little bit of the old Tottenham corner that Sheringham used to work, that little cutback for him to strike.
Different corner this time towards the big man. Fellaini at the back, Smalling in the area for two. Oh, what a finish by Chris Smalling. Controls on the chest and volleys the ball home. Magnificent for Mourinho's men. Watford 0, Manchester United 2.
Well, Tom, we were just talking about, they've got to get their heads together and clear the mist and just stay in the game. Don't concede the second goal, and that's exactly what they've done. Different corner, as you say, driven to the far post. It was Fellaini's header initially, but what a take from Chris Smalling. He's made the run initially. It was Fellaini's header. He's popped it up off his chest and then volleyed it in past Foster. Possibly one or two United players in an offside position, but that wasn't going to affect the striker on the target. Sanchez, I think, right in front of Foster. He might possibly have an argument because he stepped across him slightly, but what a finish. Great composure. That's almost what you'd expect to see from a striker, not a centre-half.
Franny, I think Watford have got a case here, mate. I've got to tell you, Alexis Sanchez is standing right in front of Ben Foster, and that is only a couple yards away, so maybe he wouldn't have saved it, but Sanchez is standing in front of the keeper and he's offside. If that shot came in from 20 yards away and Sanchez was there and they had time to look at it, that for me, in a VAR world, wouldn't be allowed.
I think you're right. If the players were further out, Tom, I think that there's more scope and a better chance for the official to almost see an infringement or a player in the line of the goalkeeper. But the fact it was literally just a yard or two and everyone was in defending the corner made it so much harder. And that's two decisions you could say that have gone against Watford, that have cost them goals.
United have 2 goals. What have Watford got in response? On the edge, Gray trying to find a release. He dials outright to Janmaat, cross towards Deeney. One again by Smalling. Ball in the air. Smalling battling with Gray forward. Gray, well, he did manage to get a knock forward, but it was never really going to find a teammate, and that is a goal kick to Manchester United. And what a performance so far from Chris Smalling. Jose Mourinho has made it very public that he's not been happy with his central defenders, and they have made errors and ricks and all that, but this has been a phenomenal performance from the man who scored the second goal, Chris Smalling.
Oh, most definitely. We were talking earlier in the commentary, Tom, that he looked composed, he looked solid, he's got that physical threat up against Troy Deeney, but he's been handling that extremely well so far today. And when you want a player in any position, whether it's a striker, a winger, a midfielder, and most definitely not what you'd expect to see from a centre half in that sort of position within the box. The time, the composure, the touch he took, and then the finish as well. Yes, we could argue about whether Sanchez was infringing Foster at all and whether there was a case for an offside possibly for Watford, but great composure, and what a wonderful finish, and what a real crucial goal in what was an important stage of the game.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about it from a Watford perspective, but from a Manchester United perspective, they have Watford on the ropes for a few seconds and they made them pay. And it really is a tremendous finish from Chris Smalling, a man who's not been favoured by England, not been favoured by Manchester United. He's changed his haircut today, and maybe a change in fortunes as well. Here comes Fellaini, another man with a new style. In towards Pogba, right-footed ball in the air out left to Alexis Sanchez in the penalty area. Lovely touch by Alexis Sanchez, but working hard back towards his own goal there is Will Hughes with the challenge. What about this third goal here? They've got to stop that by any means necessary, haven't they?
At 3-0, it's game over, Tom. And at the moment, the 2 goals in such a short space of time, in the space of a few minutes, all of a sudden you can see the confidence that's given the United players. Pogba spraying the ball with the outside of his foot, Sanchez taking a delightful little touch inside the box. All of a sudden you can see they've got their tails up now. Watford have got to go in at very least 2-0 down.
Defending to do here from a corner on the left hand side. Ashley Young is over it, Lingard is short, being read by Pereira, so surely Young will just deliver this. No, he won't. It is short to Lingard. Back to Young again. Hughes is out there. Low cross. What a waste that was by United. It was clear that Watford had read it. And the clearance is upfield, but no Watford player had been left upfield. Lindelof picks it up, chips it out right. Trying to find Smalling, beaten this time by Holebas, and it's going to be a throw in to Manchester United on this right hand side.
I'm going to ask questions now. This will be asking questions of a Watford side that have done extremely well so far this season. How can they now bounce back from this? Will it be a tactical change or possible substitution from the manager, or can the players themselves show the composure and the ability to get back into this game? It's not get a 2-goal, it's just get a first goal back and then take the game from there.
Things just going wrong for Watford at the moment. Ball by Decore went straight to Valencia, picked up by Lukaku. Strange anomaly for you that Man United have either scored 2 or none at all of their last 9 Premier League away games. So they have scored twice on each of the last 5 occasions. Scored 2 against Burnley, 2 again today. It's funny how maybe when they get that second goal they feel the game is done, as opposed to others who might look for the third and think that's the end of the match.
Yeah. I mean, they can't think that this game's over. Certainly against the Watford side that scored in every game that they've played in this season. The Carabao Cup, they won 2-0 against Reading. They've scored in all the other Premier League fixtures this campaign. So you certainly can't think at 2-0 it's job done, I would say.
Ball up towards Lukaku. It's over his head. Cathcart gets there, and then Janmaat finds Capoue, and almost they're not quite looking at each other, and a bit of confusion. They have managed to get the ball upfield. Gray to Hughes on the right hand side. Back to Etienne Capoue. Decore with his back to goal. Not been able to impose himself on this game so far, the powerful figure of Abdoulaye Decore. Just to confirm something we didn't have time for earlier because the goals came so fast. Jose Holebas was yellow carded in the aftermath of the first goal. So Capoue and Holebas both been yellow carded in this game for Watford, something we missed a little bit earlier on because there were a lot of complaints about both goals, and if anything it was the second one that more of a legitimate grievance over, which didn't result in a yellow. A couple of minutes to go until the half-time whistle here. Matic running crossfield, right to left, about 35 yards from goal. It's square to Pogba. And one rasping effort today, well saved. Young on the left, it's into Alexis Sanchez in the penalty area. Gets away from Janmaat, pokes it right, controlled by Valencia. Lukaku on the overlap here. It's not a great ball to him, but he has got there. He gets a shot away too. Blocked well by Watford. May have been Holebas with the final challenge. United recycle possession again. Watford just holding on here in the closing stages of this first half. Third goal will be an absolute killer if they get it now.
They need half time. They've got to go in. They need to get that team talking. They need to regroup, regather their thoughts, find a way to work their way back into this game, because they've been completely shell-shocked in the space of a couple of minutes and find themselves comfortably in the game to all of a sudden being 2 down.
Big crossfield ball, left to right, controlled by Valencia, into Lukaku, back to goal, finds Matic, then Lukaku can turn forward on it, back to Matic again. They're purring now, Manchester United on the edge of the area, challenged by Holebas, gets Watford back on it, back towards Foster, who will clear it long. That's heard there from the announcer here at Vicarage Road. 2 minutes added on at the end of the first half, 2 minutes to endure for Watford, who started so brightly. They've been pegged back by a couple of quick goals from Manchester United. Lukaku and Smalling with those finishes. It's out right to Valencia. Valencia into Lingard. Lingard on the edge with a cross towards Pogba. Great save by Foster. Brilliant volley by Pogba. Perfect timing. Great connection. Ben Foster stood firm and gets the all-important block.
Wonderful build-up play. Delightful little chip into the far post from Lingard, and Pogba have made the run. Left foot volley, and not for the first time in this first half. It's Foster that's smothering the shot, pushing it away for a corner. That would have been game over in my opinion at 3-0. Mourinho can't believe it. He's thrown his arms around in the dugout there. Great opportunity to have wrapped the game up.
Couldn't have made a sweeter connection there, Paul Pogba. Unfortunately for him, it was right on the thigh of Ben Foster. Corner again for United. They're racking up now. Delivery towards the near post. It was won by Christian Cabaselli. It's going to bounce over this side for a throw again to Manchester United. Throws well there, the central defender. Really dangerous ball towards Lukaku. Had to win it, did win it. Yeah, Man United have really shown a desire to get that third goal here. And, well, the throw-in's actually been given the Watford way here, which is a real surprise. It clearly came off Cabaselli. Maybe it hit someone else afterwards, or maybe the official made a mistake. But either way, it's cleared upfield, and it's a foul on Gray by Lindelof. But I'm not sure Watford are going to have any time to make anything of this, as the additional minutes are up.
Imagine the whistle to go as soon as it's taken, Tom. No real opportunity to play anything else the rest of this remaining of the first half. Good job done by United.
Performance perfectly executed, and Mike Dean let them line it up for a good 20 seconds and then blew his whistle. I mean, we've not had to mention Mike Dean too much in this game so far, but showing his personality there. Half-time whistle has gone. It is 2-0, and a dominant half it has been for Manchester United. 65% possession in the game. They've had 6 shots on target, 8 in total. They've had a whole bunch of corners in this half, 6 by my count. They've dominated the game. They've got a 2-0 lead through Lukaku and Smalling. Big 45 on the horizon for Watford. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSports International Service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Eriksen just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, Matthew Etherington. Adrian Clark's with us. Chris Iwelumo, fresh from the gym.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah! Who makes it 2 to Liverpool? 1 chance, 1 goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on TalkSport.com.
You're listening to Premier League Live, the final game of our first Saturday back after the international break is Watford against Manchester United on this really busy Saturday. We were hoping for a humdinger of a match, but so far it's the Red Devils who've had the upper hand. 2-0 at the break, they lead. Heel to Deeney. Fellaini intercepts. Deeney again! Oh, what a save! What a save by David De Gea from Troy Deeney. Sanchez picks up a loose ball in the edge of the area, driving forward too. Oh, what a great save by Ben Foster. Blasted on target by Alexis Sanchez. A chance all of his own making. That's a big hand by Foster to knock the ball over the top. Smalling recovers. Back to Young. Left-footed cross in the area. Romelu Lukaku. The offside flag doesn't go up, and Romelu Lukaku, the flat-track bully, has scored again. Different corner this time towards the big man. Fellaini at the back, Smalling in the area for 2. Oh, what a finish by Chris Smalling. Controls on the chest and volleys the ball home. Magnificent for Mourinho's men. Watford 0, Manchester United 2. I think it's fair to say that the party atmosphere at Vicarage Road has long since gone, but maybe not with me and Franny Benali. We're having a lovely day. Let's talk about those goals that Man United scored, because it was a very even game until both of those goals, and Watford have got complaints about both. The first one scored by Lukaku. They were claiming for offside, they were claiming maybe for handball. Holebas got booked in his protestations because of that goal. We've seen it a couple of times on the monitors. Do you see anything wrong with it?
It's potentially they've got a bit of an argument, but these go for or against you, don't they? And it's such a fine line sometimes. Naturally, it's the assistant's job to be doing that and keeping a close eye on that. But they either go for you or they don't, and that can be sometimes the fine margins in these games, and it can just be one goal that shifts the pattern of a game. That's exactly what happened. We spoke about it. He said Watford have got to get their heads together, not concede a second, and that's exactly what happened. From a corner, they didn't defend the first ball into the box initially particularly well. Then the defending from the corner after that, Fellaini had a completely free header, and then it's just one. You could argue maybe is Sanchez interfering for a split second. I would agree with you when you said that he is interfering with Foster, but then he takes a little step to the left-hand side. Now, when I think you're that close to the goal, I don't think really there was going to be any difference in the outcome.
Mate, I've got to pick that up, because I've watched that a couple of times now, and you say he jumps out the way, but he jumps out the way a split second before Smalling smacks it at him. So Ben Foster's had no line of sight on the ball, and then a split second later, the ball is blasted at him. I mean, he's offside. He's standing in an offside position. I think if we looked at that again on VAR in a year's time, that wouldn't be given. If you're standing in front of the keeper when the ball's about to be smacked, if you jump out the way at the last second, you're still interfering. We saw it earlier today with the opening goal that Liverpool got disallowed when it hit Firmino. It was going in, but Mane's made a little swing for the ball. And if that's given, this is surely worse.
It's one of those incidents where VAR would be called into action for sure, isn't it? It's resulted in a goal. There's a questionable element about it, and again, it comes down to opinions, doesn't it? And certainly Foster himself. We saw him as the half-time whistle went. There was a lot of discussions, and complaints from the Watford players. But Foster as well was going up to Mike Dean and making his feelings known, and well, maybe not in a bad way, but I think he was asking the question. Certainly and he had an argument maybe on both the goals that they conceded.
And briefly in the second half, how hard is it if you're Watford now to regroup and regather and get back in this game?
Tough, really tough, Tom. It's they'll obviously have an opportunity to try and galvanise themselves in the dressing room now, but it's a long way back at the moment. But they've scored in every goal so far, as we've said. Anything's possible. An early goal would massively help them, but at the moment, Man United look in full control.
Elsewhere today in the Premier League, Chelsea went joint top with a 4-1 victory over Cardiff City. A come from behind victory, including an Eden Hazard hat-trick. Has-trick? No? OK, I'll move on. Huddersfield still can't score a goal. They lost at home against Crystal Palace, a wonder goal by Wilfried Zaha. 1-0 that one finished. Man City 3-0 victors over Fulham. Newcastle losing 2-1 at home against Arsenal. Game of the day, surely Bournemouth's victory over Leicester. 4-0 they led. Leicester had a man sent off, and they got a lot better after Wes Morgan was red carded. They scored twice. 4-2 it finished in the end. Let's hear from the manager of the Fighting Cherries, Eddie Howe.
we're in a good position at the moment. I think a different feel to last year, where we were, struggling at the start of the season, and there was an uncomfortable feel. We knew that we had a long way back from that point. I think this year the beauty is that we are growing in confidence, and we're a new team. 3 new players on show today, which is unusual for us to have that mix so early. And I thought they all did very well.
Yeah, great performance again, though it was quite strange in that game, Franny, that when they were actually 3-0 up, by my count, they'd only had 2 shots because the third one was a penalty, so it didn't count in the shots on target. Just one of those days that on another day Leicester might have actually won it.
Yeah, no, it's the margins in these games can be so fine, and it just takes one goal, one incident, one decision to completely shift the change and pattern of a game. And anybody on their day is capable of beating anyone in this division, and it's going to be a long old campaign for 1 or 2 clubs, I think, and others. But certainly the ones that want the silverware, and you expect to be competing for silverware, are the ones that have got to probably start and stay up there right from the beginning.
2 that definitely want silverware this season met in the early game of the day. Liverpool up against Tottenham. It was the Reds at Wembley who came away with all 3 points. Tottenham now have lost 2 on the bounce. Let's hear from the Spurs manager, Maurizio Pochettino.
I think it was a very competitive game. We made a lot of mistakes. We were punishing for a team that is playing so well. They start very well the season, of course, with great quality. The mistake, I think, put us in a very difficult situation. But also when we start to play, we create some chances. I think then start the second half, when Lucas Moura hit the post, was the key moment to bounce back in the game. But sometimes in football you need some lucky. But that doesn't mean that they don't deserve to win. I think they deserve to win.
Liverpool deserve to win, says the Tottenham manager. Great to hear Maurizio Pochettino showing us a bit of magnanimity in defeat, a rarity these days in the Premier League. I'm sure Mourinho will be great should his team go on to lose this game this evening. Currently winning by 2-0 up against Watford. Second half coming up next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSports International Service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Atkinson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
The Premier League preview show with TalkSport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scene scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
TalkSports Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, Matthew Etherington. Adrian Clark's with us. Chris Iwelumo, fresh from the gym.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, we still find Salah, who makes it 2 to Liverpool. One chance, one goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on TalkSport.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of Watford against Manchester United from Vicarage Road. 2-0 to United at the break. I'm your host Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Southampton defender Francis Benali. You are listening to Premier League Live. Those goals in the first half. Lukaku on 35 minutes. Smalling on 38. Lukaku has now scored 20 goals in 39 Premier League appearances for Manchester United. Only 3 players have reached 20 for the Red Devils in fewer games. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Robin van Persie and Dwight York. Franny Benali, not bad company to be in. Does he stack up with those other strikers?
Well, you know, he's had a great start to the season, hasn't he? And scoring goals is what it's all about for strikers. It's what they get judged on. Yes, there's other elements to the game as well that you got to do. And I think when you're sort of up there and you sort of, that is what you're there for. You know, looking at somebody, my heart goes out to somebody like a Christian Benteke who just looks so sort of like broken at times in a way. You know, the confidence and lack of it that he seems to be playing with. Even, you know, you almost like don't want the ball to go to him at times. He seems afraid of sort of having a go at goal. But you know, certainly there's players when they're scoring and they're in form. You know, that's what they thrive on, a striker. And you know, being at a club like this, you're going to be judged on goals. You're going to be judged on silverware. You're going to be judged on results. And with respect to Watford, even given the start they've had, and it was a very tough fixture for them this today, you know, you've got to be winning these sort of matches and scoring goals in them.
Mike Dean is back out. That's the booze you can hear ringing around Vicarage Road. And so we are set to go in this second half. Here's the teams then, starting with Watford. Ben Foster in goal. Back 4 left to right of Jose Holebas, Christian Cambaselli, Craig Cathcart and Daryl Yanmat. Midfield 2, Abdoulaye Doucouré and Etienne Capoue. Will Hughes and Roberto Pereira, with Gray and Deeney up front. Benches Gomez, Mariappa, Success, Messina, Sema, Chalaba and Kiko Firmino. For Manchester United, David De Gea is in goal. Back 4 left to right of Ashley Young, Victor Lindelof, Chris Smalling and Antonio Valencia. Fellaini, Pogba and Matic midfield trio. Jesse Lingard, Alexis Sanchez supporting Romelu Lukaku up front. Benches Grant, Bailly, Darmian, Mata, Fred, McTominay and Martial. United kick from right to left in this second half. Light pink shirts and shorts with white shorts and socks are pink. I'm all over the place now with socks and shorts. It's very confusing sometimes. But it is white shorts and pink socks. Watford kick the other way towards the goal away to our right. It's yellow and black stripes with black shorts and black socks. And don't ask me to say what shorts and socks are again, alright? It's very tough. First minute gone in this second half, and it's a big few minutes here for Watford. You do feel, Franny, if they're going to get back in this game, they've got to score early.
Yep, early goal needed from Watford. Conversations in the dressing rooms would have been quite different. Watford would be saying, look, let's put them on the back foot, let's put the balls into the box, let's try and get that early goal, get us back into the game. And United would be saying, look, let's keep things tight, don't switch off, make sure we don't concede early, and let's try and feed our way and manage our way through this second half.
Ashley Young has given away a soft free kick here. Lovely piece of control by Will Hughes on that far side. He's been hacked down by Ashley Young. Not 15 yards away from the end line, right hand side. It's perfect position for a cross from Jose Holebas, one of the key assist makers in the Premier League so far this season. Been directly involved in more goals than any other player so far this campaign. 4 assists and of course that one attempted assist that flew straight in the back of the net.
And the free kick in an area that Watford would want at this stage of the game.
It will be Holebas to take on the right hand side. Left footed cross whipped in, one at the near post by Lukaku. Forward from the head of Yanmat down the right hand side. Will be kept on, will it, by Gray? Yes, it will on the right. up against Ashley Young, right on the end line by the corner flag. Good work by Andre Gray. Hughes then pokes it back to Holebas. Watford do well to slug with that ball away. Early cross by Janmat, almost like a beacon straight at Fellaini. Recovered by Decore. Infield to Capu. Digs the ball out right to Hughes, who's round the back of Young, controlled on the chest. Deep cross, it's over the head of Decore, picked up by Pereira. In towards Holebas, back to goal. On the left-hand side, the full-back. Here's Capu. Outside of him again is Pereira. Holebas helping him out on the overlap. Back inside instead. Pereira again towards the penalty area. Out to Holebas. Deep cross. Oh, it's overhit by Jose Holebas. And if that was in the first half or any other game this season, that would have been right to a Watford head in the penalty area. It just feels a little bit like they're dealing with negativity for the first sort of time and struggling at the moment.
It does, Tom, yeah. Holebas just holding his head and his hands, and he's disappointed with that delivery, just floating over the crossbar and behind De Gea's goal. But a bright start from Watford, exactly what they would have wanted. But asking questions defensively of Manchester United. United have just got to use their experience, use the strength that they do have. They're in full control of this game at the moment, and that free kick that came into the box from Watford was dealt with very well by their striker Lukaku coming back and doing his defensive duties. So everyone's on the United side are playing their part in the 2-0 lead they have at the moment.
Up towards the halfway come Manchester United. Lingard and Valencia being crowded out by 3 Watford players, but they have managed to get the ball round the back of Holebas. Corey with the challenge to knock the ball out of play. It was all very tight and very niggly on that far side from Manchester United. Watford stopping the advance. Throwing on the right hand side, just over the halfway, which Valencia will take. And it's not already time wasting, is it, surely, from Manchester United?
A bit
early for all that. They're slowing the pace of the game down, I suppose. Pogba with a chip cross field to Alexis Sanchez, who controls on the chest. Early cross towards Lukaku, well read by Capu, who's dropping back to help out his central defenders. Recovered by Fellaini for United. Sanchez down the line to Ashley Young. Young with a good ball in field to Pogba on the edge, who does get a shot away, and it ends up in the midst of those Manchester United supporters behind that goal.
A little bit of a wild one, way off target from Pogba, but good play from United, controlling the pace of the game, as you mentioned, from the initial throw-in. From Watford's perspective, I think they've got to try and get some sort of momentum, Tom. Close the ball down when United have got it, try and get the crowd behind them a little bit, even if it's a tackle, a header, something like that, win a free kick, whatever it might be, put United under some kind of pressure to try and get that goal back there, which will give them a chance getting back into the game. Otherwise, United will just keep the ball and it'll turn into a little bit of a possession game, and they'll just see the game out quite comfortably. So they've got to try and shift the momentum of the game somehow.
They are still getting bodies forward. Watford, they've got those 2 attacking midfielders, the 2 strikers, the fullbacks pushing on. There's 6 players to aim for here. Up towards Deeney, who flicks on towards Gray. One in the air again by United, coming as far as Etienne Capu in the centre of the pitch. Left to Holebas. Pereira's round the back of Valencia. He's got it on the end line. Away from Lingard. Still going. Pereira gets the shot away, but it's blocked by Lindelof and then locked upfield by Alexis Sanchez. In a bit of trouble on the edge of their area now as the ball bounces around, but up towards Lukaku. Foul by Cavaselli, and it's a poor foul to give away there because United were pinned.
Silly place to do it, but it was good play from Lukaku, using his size and strength, just getting himself between him and the defender, but not great defending from Lingard earlier on. Pereira sort of finding time and space in the box and just brought the Watford supporters to their feet for a moment, but was unable to sort of find one of his teammates in the box with any real quality.
Here's Nemanja Matic in the centre circles. Out left to Ashley Young. Ball is fired in aimlessly, really. It ricochets off Hughes and finds Pogba. Gray back helping out will get Watford back on the ball. Want to carry them forward down the left-hand side. Runs into Valencia. Ricochets to Pereira. Forward to Capu. Approaching the halfway line, Watford. Ball out left towards Gray. Was straight at Valencia from Etienne Capu. Pogba shrugs off the former Tottenham man and finds a pass back into his own half. It's intercepted by Deeney. Not quite sure who he was aiming for there. There's been some really poor play from both teams in the opening 7 minutes of this second half. Some misplaced passes, some rather lazy play from both teams, and it could have cost United and Watford in the opening exchanges here.
Yeah, a couple of sloppy passes, as you say, Tom. Players just need to focus, take that little bit of extra care, make sure they're not just sloppily laying the ball off or hoping that it's going to get there. Got to concentrate, make sure that ball goes exactly where they want it to. Focusing on the ball, concentrating on where the players are. United looking solid with Fellaini and Matic in the centre of the park. Pogba as well is just strolling around and strutting around as he does, looking full control at the moment.
Here is Pogba, just over the halfway on the right hand side, chipped out left to Alexis Sanchez, who finds Young on the overlap on the left. Back to Lingard. United not taking too many risks here. 61% of the ball they've had in the game, as Matic chips it towards the run of Alexis Sanchez, away by Watford, recycled by Fellaini. They are looking quite comfortable now, Manchester United. Watford are the kind of team that like to ruffle feathers, and so far just giving United a gentle stroke as Mourinho's men come forward again. Crossed by Young, it's away by Cathcart into Hughes, looking to bring them forward at pace. Gray then being challenged by Lindelof. They're being challenged firmly here, those Watford players. Fellaini in there too. Hughes has brought it away. Will Hughes now carries the ball out left for Watford. Holloway's on the overlap. Here he is now. Early cross. Sliced away by Smalling, but no one is there for Watford, and Pogba can carry it clear for Manchester United. Outright to Lukaku. Infield. Away from Holloway, and then he passed towards Sanchez. Was embarrassingly overhit really, and he gets applause from Alexis Sanchez, but just haven't really seen the link up between those two players during their time together at United. A couple of moments with Sanchez and Pogba aside at Man City. He's always seems to be doing it on his own, doesn't he, Sanchez?
Yeah, no, that's right. It's just not quite clicking, as you say, but trying to make that little run in between the centre halves and on completely different wavelengths, the pass being overhit. Watford just got to be careful they don't get into a you attack, we attack, almost like a five-a-side sort of scenario by trying to get back into this game. Yes, they've got to take chances, but they've still got to be defensively tight as well.
Oh, they've got a free kick here. Valencia suckered into that one from Pereira on the edge, 5 to 10 yards away from it. Controlled it, was going nowhere, but got his body in the way of Valencia's retreating tackle, and it's really smart from Pereira and not so smart from Valencia.
Yeah, clever play, Tom, as you say. Dangerous area for Watford. Opportunity again to probably put a strike in on David De Gea's goal. Seeing United lining up that huge wall of Fellaini, Pogba and Lukaku. It's going to take something pretty special to get it up and over those guys of that size.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Vital minutes coming up in this match for both these two teams. A goal for Watford, it's a different game. Plenty of time to score that equaliser. Will it be another come from behind victory against one of the top six as Pereira hits it? Oh, and it's over the top for Roberto Pereira. Maybe just a bit too close for him, didn't get it up and down. And I think looking at the face there of Javi Gracia, he knows that was a big moment.
Yes, one of those opportunities, but with the United players in that wall, they're such a big unit. De Gea is such a top goalkeeper. It's got to be something pretty special to get the ball up and over to beat De Gea from there. But it was an opportunity, something that they've got to try and build upon. Watford crowd doing their best to get behind them as well. But again, still from what we've seen so far, early stages of the second half, you can't help but feel that Man United are still playing very comfortable within themselves.
Fellaini in the centre circle, wins a loose ball, pokes it forward, Watford back on it with Cathcart. Chips it out left to Holloway, who's such a driving force in this Watford team. Doing exactly that right now, bringing them forward. He's then gone to ground as if he's been tripped by Valencia, and Mike Dean waves that one away. I think that's fair enough there from Holloway. Does he then get booked for diving? Should he not get booked for diving here?
Well, I've just seen it. He plays the ball past Valencia and then just completely throws himself to the ground. No contact whatsoever. So yeah, to answer your question, that's got to be a booking.
I tend to get them in those situations, which I always find quite perplexing, because that's a clear attempt to manipulate and cheat the referee. But I don't know what the rules are anymore. There's Capoue, hits a big diagonal out right to Deeney, fired so hard all Deeney could do was knock it up in the air. And it's cleared away by Ashley Young. We've not seen enough of Troy Deeney from a Watford perspective today. Up towards Hughes, over his head, it's away by Lindelof, recovered by Cathcart, who's pushing forward, trying to squeeze the game upfield here at the Hornets, but Capoue's pass has given the ball away to Nemanja Matic. He finds a poke to Pogba. Slips it beautifully into the path of Lukaku, right at the penalty area. Kabasele stayed with him and gets a really important challenge here.
It was a very good challenge as well, Tom, wasn't it? All of a sudden when that ball was played through from Pogba, Lukaku's made a straight run, and you feel at one moment that Kabasele's in a little bit of trouble, but he stands his ground, he manages to get back with his pace and then just flicks the leg out to deflect the ball for a corner. But good defending, but United, good play from Lukaku.
Corner on the attacking right-hand side. Approaching an hour gone here at Vicarage Road. Final game of a brilliant Saturday of football here on Premier League Live. And don't forget, the best way to look ahead to a Premier League weekend is to subscribe to TalkSports Premier League Preview Show podcast. Out every Thursday. Subscribe today. Just search for Premier League Preview Show on your iTunes, Acast, however you download your podcast. Get on. Corner comes in, it's massively overhit, it's over the head of Fellaini. Has been recovered though on this near side by Fellaini before Pogba trying to turn away from Decore. He's tripped by Decore, and that's a free kick for Manchester United, left of centre, 40 yards from goal.
And Watford, as much as they want to get back into this game, Manchester United won't mind things like free kicks being given, especially in that area of the pitch.
Taken short, taken quick. Young down the left-hand side. Deep ball towards the back post, away by Holebas. Pereira then picks up the loose ball, but runs straight into Valencia. Oh, shame there for Watford. Things just not quite coming off. Here's Pogba. Forward to Lukaku, back to goal. Wants to return, but Pogba stops his run, allowing Capoue to come in and steal. Then Foster will clear upfield. And so far upfield, it's actually off the field.
So I'm just thinking my mind back, Tom. I've seen it on many occasions. Sometimes it can be a good thing, others it can be a bad thing. And just when there's an international break, when a team are on a roll and a confidence, and then there's that international break, it can be a good and bad thing sometimes. But just wondering if it's been a particularly good thing from Watford's perspective. I don't know.
Well, we certainly haven't seen the intensity of performance we saw, certainly against Tottenham Hotspur. But they have struggled, as we mentioned earlier, at home against Palace, at home against Brighton. Those scores could easily have been different. They've upped their game here with Gray and Deeney on the right-hand side, forcing a corner from nowhere, winning it off Young, pushing people out of the way, getting in people's faces. That's more like it from Javi Gracia's Hornets.
That's what they need. Both players in the same vicinity doing it, but it's given the crowd a lift and they've won a corner from it.
Deeney getting in the face of Ashley Young as well, who in such a characteristic narky way, Ashley Young was trying to claim the goal kick when it was never a goal kick. That's why opposing fans hate him, and Man United fans will move on. But a corner comes in from the right hand side for Watford. 2 on the goalkeeper, 3 on the edge to aim for. Holebas's delivery is right on the goalkeeper. Was it won there by Kabasele? I think it was. It may have hit Smalling last. It's hard to tell exactly what happened there. It's gone out for another corner. Smalling has just won it right on the goal line there before Kabasele could turn it in.
There was good defending for sure. There was certainly a lot of, not pushing, but tight marking, and De Gea came to try and get the punch on it and was nowhere near it really. He was thankful for his defender Chris Smalling in front of him, who managed to get the final touch to take it off for a corner.
Another corner for Watford, this time on the attacking left-hand side. Holebas with the outswinger. And they are just less dangerous, those deliveries in, unless you work it right. That time Watford did not. Upfield it's cleared, and Watford have won a free kick, fouled by Lingard on Pereira. Right on the halfway line, just chasing down Pereira. Lingard to excitedly Any chance we'll see any Watford changes at any point soon? And Franny, they have liked to stick with this 11 as much as possible so far this season.
That's right, yeah, we've seen an unchanged starting lineup from Gracia for all the 5 Premier League games so far this season. He made 11 changes in the Carabao Cup, so the players are well rested, but he's certainly got to be shifting his mind as we approach sort of like 65 minutes of the game. What can I do to maybe have an impact to help my team get back into this?
From the free kick, taken by Holobas. It's one in the air by Manchester United. Matic streaks forward. Finds Pogba up over the halfway line on the left-hand side. He finds a lovely crossfield ball right to Lukaku. Controlled in the stomach. Runs towards the penalty area. 2 in front of him. Tried to help it forward towards Alexis Sanchez. And again, Lukaku and Sanchez just not on the same wavelength. And this time Cathcart steps across.
I think United almost would want it the other way around, the ball going out wide maybe to Sanchez, Lukaku being the one making the little runs in the box, but again another occasion, as you say, just that understanding quite wasn't there.
Hello to Hubert, who's listening to us in Hawaii, tweeted into @TalkSport Live saying Man United showing they are the real big boys against the small boys of Watford. Wonderful imagery. Keep your tweets coming into @TalkSport Live as the little boys have won the ball back here. Challenged by Hughes on Fellaini. Deeney held up though by the Belgian central midfielder. Watford still on the ball but in their own half and just didn't quite know how to work that attack. Here's Capoue in the centre circle in his own half. He finds the ball left to Cabaselli. In Holobas. Ferreira looks to let the ball run but it's been read by Valencia. How to play for a throw. He's getting towards that now or never time for Watford. Will they start risking the score getting worse and moving more bodies forward? There's plenty forward here, as Pereira runs towards the penalty area, breaks to Capoue, cut back to Gray! The risk pays off for Watford. They are back in this game. Brilliant finish from Andre Gray. Well worked, well finished. Watford well back in this game. Watford 1, Man United 2.
What timing you were saying there, how are they going to get back in and what are they got to do? They've got to be careful, they're going to make changes, but it's wonderful football. It's a couple of little 1-2s being played in the centre of the park. They work it out wide. The ball, I think, eventually drops to Andre Gray. It's not great defending from Manchester United. Too many players just running around waiting for one another to do it, but what a finish. Absolutely incredible. So cut back, Andre Gray just level with the 18 yards, the penalty spot, right footed, past De Gea, unable to save it, and this one they're back in it.
You've got to be good to score against De Gea, and that was good from Andre Gray, his second goal in the Premier League this season, and hasn't Vicarage Road just changed in atmosphere in a matter of seconds? And it's Watford coming forward again with Hughes running into Fellaini on the edge. Young will calmly get Manchester United back on the ball. It's forward to Pogba. We've got a game on here, guys, no doubt about it, as Pogba looks to release Lukaku, but it's behind him. Cathcart sweeps up back towards Foster, who knocks it upfield, showing the tenacity you need if you're going to remain at the top of the Premier League table. Watford, who've come from behind to beat Tottenham. Why not Manchester United?
Do you know what, I haven't seen the reaction of the crowd in the stadium. You can't help but feel that you wouldn't put it beyond them getting themselves back on level terms with United in this game from what we've seen already as well.
Plenty of time to go, only 65 minutes on the clock. Everything has changed about Vicarage Road. Everything has changed about this match. Wonderful things, goals in football, as Foster blasts the ball upfield. And Troy Deeney has gone down crushing his face like he's caught an elbow from Marouane Fellaini. Did you need me to tell you who it was? We're watching the replay now. There is a collision there between the elbow and the face, but I think Deeney, if anything, has kind of run into his elbow from behind. I'm not sure that's a swing of the elbow from Fellaini this time.
No, I'd agree, Tom. Yeah, I don't think there's any intentional there. I mean, it's Smalling and Fellaini who are sort of challenging Deeney, that aerial ball coming into the edge of the box, but nothing intentional in my opinion.
He has taken a bit of a knock there, Troy Deeney. Certainly not one to milk it. Now back underway though as Hughes tries to stop Matic advancing up the field, fouling him about 5 times. A pull, a shove, a pull of the shirt, then a trip. Eventually the free kick given the way of the Manchester United man.
United certainly won't be in any hurry to take it, that's for sure.
Have they done a bad job of closing this game out, Manchester United?
Well, I didn't really see Watford coming back into it, to be honest, at 2-0. We always knew they were capable of coming back into it from what we've seen from them this season so far and winning all their 4 games up to this point, but maybe they haven't managed it that well so far, United.
High ball from Young towards Fellaini in the area, cleared away. Pogba chests the ball down on the edge, but he can't bring it down fast enough, and Doucouré robs him. Deeney then finds Pereira on the left-hand side. Foul on Doucouré. Referee says play on. Pereira carrying it forward, looks towards Gray, challenged by Lindelof, breaks to Pereira on the edge, he's gone down. Referee waves away, and he protests for a penalty. Lindelof looks shaky there for a second. Ball has gone through to David De Gea.
It was a great counter-attack, and I think there might have been some sort of contact with Lindelof, but Pereira's running forward, but he does seem to go to ground a little bit too easy, I think, which is why Mike Dean has waved away any appeal from Watford, but the momentum's definitely with Watford at this stage.
Very clumsy from Lindelof. If that was given as a free kick on the edge, you wouldn't have really had too many complaints about it. Maybe he was just going down a bit too early, a bit too easy. As Hughes' ball forward towards Janmat is intercepted by Ashley Young, right on the end line, left hand side, in towards Alexis Sanchez, who's done really well, to poke that through to Pogba. Pogba then has got Lukaku ahead of him. He carries the ball into the centre circle, and he's done well to find a release to Sanchez. Looked like he played himself into trouble for a second there, Pogba. Out left to Lingard, running in field, finds Pogba on the edge. 2 players around him, he goes to ground, no free kick given. Mike Dean having none of it this evening at Vicarage Road. The game is really getting stretched, it's getting end to end. Certainly very, very entertaining on Premier League Live. Just over 20 minutes to go. 2-1 to Manchester United, the visitors here to Vicarage Road. Doucouré over the halfway, looks to find Gray. Gray had stopped, so he just couldn't control it on the run, and then his forward ball to Pereira was intercepted. But you can see they're looking for the passes, they're looking for the gaps, Watford. Deeney there's clattered into Marouane Fellaini, and that's a free kick. And is that a yellow card for Deeney as well? Yes, it is, for Mike Dean, 3rd Watford man in the book.
Yes, it's a silly one. Fellaini, just as he's making the clearance, Deeney steps across and there's contact. It's a soft foul really, and a soft free kick. Just when that momentum is with Watford, all of a sudden they've got that little spring in their step. Fullbacks, midfielders are a little bit more willing to make the forward runs. Looks like we might be seeing a change as well from the touchline here from Watford, from Javi Gracia. He feels he's got an opportunity to help his team get back into this now. It's a great game we're watching here at the moment, but United have got their work cut out now that they've allowed Watford to get back into this game.
Looks like Kiko Firmino is getting ready to come on here for Watford, the Spanish right back / winger. Not on as yet with 20 minutes remaining. Here's Pogba in the centre of the field. They're inside the Watford half. It's a loose pass from Pogba. He may not have been that effective today, but he has been consistent with the way he's passed the ball. That time, not so much. Change for United as well, by the way. Anthony Martial is coming on, and Jesse Lingard is going to be the man to be replaced, so a straight swap at that end. Kiko Firmino is the man coming on for Watford. I'll confirm that change for you in a second. Jesse Lingard's performance today, Franny?
I haven't really seen a huge amount from him that you would say sticks out in the memory, Tom, would you? Pretty quiet. I guess a player that you would want and expect a little bit more from. And I guess Mourinho is just feeling now that he's got to try and help his team by freshening things up a little bit. Martial would certainly add something to them, but that's been counteracted by Gracia's own substitution himself as well.
Kiko Firmino is on. He's replaced Daryl Janmat. Straight swap in that right back area. Fresh legs, and of course the right back and left back here, not exactly traditional full-backs. They're basically wingers, leaving Watford often with 2 central defenders doing all the work themselves. It's a very adventurous way of playing. You've got to be incredibly fit to do it. I can tell you as well, I'm just being told that Nemanja Matic picked up a yellow card in there somewhere. I've got to be honest, I have no idea when that happened, but we can confirm it has happened. So first United player in the book, Nemanja Matic. Here is Kiko Firmino down the right hand side, running it Young, deep cross towards Deeney, who's won it. Headed into the penalty area, but volleyed away by Smalling. It's a throw on that far side to Watford, which is in towards Holebas. Great driving run across towards the back post. Young controls it, no one on him. He's able to clear it upfield to Alexis Sanchez, who finds a brilliant ball out right to Anthony Martial, and a little bit of space round the back of the fullbacks. Ran straight into Decore. Good defensive work by Watford, but I'm not quite sure what Martial thought he was doing in that situation.
Sanchez must be saying a few words under his breath. He sprayed the ball from his own half in the middle of the pitch to Martial, made a fantastic run and effort to get the return pass back, and it was a sloppy ball from Martial.
Will Hughes getting the pass down the right channel here from Firmino up against Fellaini. Crossed by Firmino towards the back post, brilliantly cleared by Valencia just before Pereira could turn it home. Upfield towards Lukaku, who's got there before Cathcart. Down the left hand side, drags it back and comes back in field. Cross towards Martial, cleared away by Cabaselli. Only as far as Alexis Sanchez knocks it back to Pogba. Lovely touch by Pogba to keep that ball away from Troy Deeney, who's got to be careful here. He's had a couple of little kicks out there at Paul Pogba on a yellow card, remember, the Watford captain. Pogba then runs into trouble in the shape of Capoue, but Matic there to sweep up. Down the line on the right towards Martial from Valencia. And Martial obviously telling us the instructions he's been given there, holding that ball up for United, not looking to carry the ball forward. Alexis Sanchez, you can tell him what you want, he's always going to try and carry the ball forward, but he runs into trouble and Watford clear it. Good win by Fellaini before Deeney gets there, but Decore is able to beat Matic. This game is not over yet, folks. A good 15 minutes and change to go as Pereira is released down the left hand side for Watford. Decore's on the edge, shot by Decore. He's always falling over as he goes to hit that ball, and he slices the ball well wide.
Oh, it's a shame because his shot was nowhere near of the level of his effort and commitment to break forward and pick up the knockdowns that were sort of being knocked down by Man United. Playing on the front foot, the energy and the tempo of the game is wonderful. A little bit too stretched from Watford's perspective, I think, at times, but they're throwing players forward, they're committing players forward, and Decore is one of those players that they're trying to do that. Just seen a little, I think maybe the reason why we saw Matic booked, wasn't it? Just taking him out earlier on. We didn't see that initially, but they've got to take risks. If they want to get back into this now, they've got to throw players forward, but that does leave them open a little bit at the back.
Watford 1, Manchester United 2 on Premier League Live as the ball is fired upfield by Foster. Cleared away by Valencia. It's round the back of Cabaselli. Sanchez chasing him down, but the Watford man heads forward. Then Holebas is closed down by Anthony Martial. That's a throw into the Hornets on the halfway lines. Back to Christian Cabaselli. Square to Cathcart. Cathcart chips it upfield. Looks towards Deeney again, who's done well to bring that down the chest. Troy Deeney being held by Fellaini. Home fans cheer it, home fans love it. But there's a couple of fouls there. There's two of them holding him down, Smalling and Fellaini. First, Smalling had two arms wrapped around him. They've been at it all game. You have to do that against Troy Deeney. But this time it's Smalling who's been given a free kick against.
It's what Deeney likes, isn't it? He likes that physical confrontation. He likes to fill centre halves. He enjoys that physical battle with them. Smalling, as you say, just overdoing it on that occasion, but gives Watford again another opportunity to have an attempted goal.
Left of centre, maybe 28 yards from goal. Holebas will clip it towards the back post. It's not high enough. It's away by United. Lindelof. Pereira then turns it over the top down the right hand side to Decore. Has it flicked off a United head? It has. Certainly didn't see that. Decore, well, luckily he did, because he dummied it and let the ball go out of play. And it is a corner once again in this match, the fifth of the match by my count to Watford. Watford fans feeling the force here. They've seen their team do it against the big guns already this season. Can Jose Holebas deliver, as he has so often this campaign? In-swinging ball, left boot from Holebas. Oh, it's in the area, it's hooked away by Fellaini. Almost seemed to evade everybody before Fellaini volleyed that ball away. Matic then calmly gets away from Hughes down the right hand side and looks to bring United forward. That's a really good ball down the right hand side to Martial, in towards now Lukaku to Sanchez. That's a brilliant challenge right on the edge of the penalty area. It may well be Cathcart, can't quite tell as he's down on the ground. I think it is Craig Cathcart. Just about worked it well, Manchester United. Great ball by Matic. And what about this challenge from Craig Cathcart? Absolutely superb.
Excellent defending for quite a few seconds there on that breakaway. You thought with the numbers United had going forward, the players, the movement that they had, that it would probably result in a goal, but what a challenge, what a tackle, especially when they had Ben Foster coming out towards him and clattering into him as well. So looks like both players took a little bit of a knock in that challenge, but brave defending. Excellent track back from Cathcart.
A little bit of blood coming from the inside of the mouth from Craig Cathcart, but it's not coming out of his mouth, not going on his shirt, so he's not going to go off the field of play, but just caught a face full of Foster fist as that challenge went in. Had to be made and was made. Man United just kind of blew it at the vital moment there between Lukaku and Sanchez. Here is Alexis Sanchez again. Left hand side, looking for Pogba. One try to Corey. Say corner to Manchester United. I wonder what they do here, United. Do they send the bodies forward? Do they keep the centre halves back?
I think you've got to sort of see the game out now and just try and dictate the tempo of the game. I don't necessarily look to chase the third goal. If they have to win it by one, take a 2-1 victory, then they'll happily do so, I'm sure.
They have left one centre half back in Lindelof. Smalling has gone forward. Valencia back as well. As Young, the other defender, delivers this corner. It's not a great ball towards the near post. Away by Hughes. Martial recovers it. Volley back to Lindelof. He will look to pump this ball forward down the right channel. Controlled well by Smalling, who stayed forward. Back to Fellaini. Oh, and Fellaini's pass is misplaced. Pogba upset with the ball there from Fellaini. You could understand why. It wasn't a tough one there for Fellaini. Throwing to Decore, turns away from Pogba. It's into Cabaselli. Up towards Gray. It's just over his head. The Watford push has just dissipated a bit, and United are now back on top. Lukaku to Pogba. Pogba looks for Martial. Away by Kiko Firmino. Good win by Gray. It's Deeney in the centre circle, but they are just flagging here, Watford. Matic wins it back off Troy Deeney and then streaks away in between two players up towards Alexis Sanchez. It's ricochet to Martial. Another fine challenge from a Watford player. This time it's Cabaselli. Firmino will then get away from Sanchez, and they're living dangerously here, Watford, but getting away with it thanks to a couple of brilliant challenges from their central defenders.
Certainly last-ditch efforts to win a ball in a challenge, weren't they? But they've been absolutely outstanding. You certainly can't fault Watford's commitment and effort levels, that's for sure.
Yellow card here for Valencia, who just handballed that attempted chip down the line from Roberto Pereira on the halfway line, but it would have left Valencia way out of position. Always risky going down to the floor in the penalty area as a defender. You've got to time it well, and that was maybe a little bit riskier there from Cabaselli than Cathcart's challenge, but brilliantly timed. Free kick taken short. Holebas with the delivery, not for the first time today. It just hasn't quite hit the spot from Jose Holebas, who's been such a star campaigner in this historic opening run for the Hornets, but it was a wasted opportunity there. Could be another change coming up here for Manchester United. See another pink shirt alongside Jose Mourinho. Scott McTominay looks like he's going to be the next man to come on, holding midfielder. Not to say too much about what Mourinho thinks of the big money signing of the summer, Fred, that it's McTominay that's coming on here, does it?
Very interesting choice of substitution. If it looks like he's going to make it, Tom. As you say, sort of Fred, maybe he feels physicality in that area, but why change it anyway? You've got 3 big guys in there already. Be interested to see who he takes off.
At the moment, it's the same team. And Watford coming forward down the left-hand side. Pereira infield to Doucouré. Doucouré up against Matic, turns away from danger and goes square to Capoue. Force back a bit here, Watford, but they found a through ball to Hughes, then out to Deeney, back to goal, back to Capoue, then Pereira. Deeney again, linking the play, Doucouré. That's a lovely ball into Kiko Firmino. The strike by Gray, blocked by Lindelof. Still Watford have got it. Back heel by Doucouré. They're finding little gaps here, Watford. Just tossing the ball in right now. There's Doucouré. Gathers again. What a great through ball that was to Kiko Firmino, who's on the ball here. Right to Pereira. Away from the challenge of Alexis Sanchez. 7 minutes remaining here. Watford 1, Man United 2. Ball from Pereira was loose and it's away by Fellaini. Big clearance upfield by Marouane Fellaini. And now the sub will be made, and it's another ineffective performance for Manchester United from Alexis Sanchez. He is going off for the final couple of minutes, and Scott McTominay, academy product at Manchester United, is coming on.
Yeah, that little pass from Pereira is disappointing because Watford had some decent possession there, some good little passes, good movement. Looked like they were trying to create that little opening they needed to get in behind the United defence, but a little bit sloppy that moment, maybe a little bit of fatigue kicking in as well. And obviously Mourinho feeling that he's seen enough from Sanchez this afternoon, just looking to maybe tighten things up that little bit more and see the game out now.
Another not quite kind of day for Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, just a few times between him and Lukaku, that understanding, as you pointed out a few times, Tom, wasn't really there, that real understanding, which must be so frustrating at times because he's such a talented player.
A change for Watford as well. Holebas has gone off. He's been replaced for the last 6 minutes or so by Adam Messina, the Moroccan-born former Italian under-21 international fullback brought in from Bologna. He is now on. Fullbacks replaced. Watford coming forward. Deeney on the edge looks to slap the ball through to Doucouré's run. It's Pogba with the last challenge. It's cleared upfield towards Lukaku, but Cavaselli steps across him. Strong performance from him today at the heart of that defence, alongside Cathcart. Capoue with a chip out right, controlled by Firmino. Poked down the line towards Gray, up against Lindelof, turns in field as Andre Gray, the man whose goal brought Watford back into this match. Firmino into Hughes, control and turn, and back to Capoue. Got the bodies forward here, Watford. Capoue towards the back post. It's won by Messina, headed back into the penalty area, but no real aim on that header. Lukaku then being chased down by Cavaselli, who's won it. Great little touch by Pereira to get away from two, but then Fellaini gets on the end of the ricochet. Clear foul on Pogba there by Capoue. Grabbed him on the arm unnecessarily, and that's a chance for United to take the sting out of this game once again.
Good play from Pogba when his team were under pressure, central area of the pitch, just 5 or 6 yards from the edge of the centre circle. Good strength, clever play.
Been a really good second half of football here at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Manchester United 2. Still plenty to play for. United look happy with the win as it stands. They can still hear Watford on the counter with those fullbacks so often out of position, as they're trying to do now. McTominay down the right wing, cross is blocked. Valencia then wins the loose ball, pokes it to Scott McTominay, but it will be picked up by Messina, and then Foster will clear upfield. Fellaini loses out to Gray, but Young has thrashed the ball forward only as far as Cathcart. Now Watford finally able to bring it down. Forward towards Etienne Capoue. Controlled by Gray, challenged by Lindelof, breaks back to Capoue. Chipped out right towards Firmino. Then Deeney battles for it and gets the ball through to Gray, breaks to Deeney, Gray gets in his way. That's a shame for Watford again. Isn't quite coming off at those vital moments with the front two today. Watford have it again, down the left-hand side. Messina finds Pereira just ahead of him. Doucouré to Messina. By Nemanja Matic. 3 minutes remain. Pogba coming forward, but no real pace from Pogba. He has found a ball out left to Martial. Still inside their own half, United. Back to Pogba again. Out right to McTominay. Good simple play here from Paul Pogba, keeping United on the ball, keeping himself on the ball. There he is again. Another pass into Lukaku. Surely that bounced up onto his side. Not been given by the referee, but probably should have been a handball there from the swinging arm of Lukaku. Into Martial, back to Ashley Young. Matic controls and finds a release to Martial on this left-hand side. Young looks for Martial again round the back, and he is round the back, and he's on the ball. Anthony Martial cutting in field now. Martial cross towards the back post. McTominay recovers it. Martial again, away by Firmino. As far as Nemanja Matic, brought down with players around him, and he's tried to find the ball towards McTominay, which didn't look on there at all, and it's actually gone straight out of play.
Need to just tighten things up, you know, the pressing forward, which is definitely on to play with Martial playing that little 1-2, getting in behind the Watford defence. But you know, they're still getting players forward at that stage of the game, and just seeing Mourinho in the technical area, he's trying to organise his team, make sure they see this game out, because Watford are still dangerous, even with only a few minutes plus whatever added time we see.
If the power of Deeney and Gray wasn't enough, Isaac's success is now on for Watford. Third change they can make. Craig Cathcart is now off, so it's basically just a one-man defence for Watford for the final 2 minutes or so. Trying to get the ball back if they want success to be just that. Good challenge by Hughes. He's closed down Young. Young then recovers with that lightning pace and clears the ball away from the corner flag area. Capoue then trying to hold up Pogba, who's turned away from the former Tottenham man. It's a release to Martial. Block go by Firmino. Success is here. Back helping out, carrying the ball forward. Capoue, surely foul by Fellaini. Referee says no. It's got to be a foul, Mike. It's got to be. Clipped into the centre circle. McTominay, bit of space for him, but it's not a good ball. Intercepted on that far side by Messina, and he's got some green grass to exploit here as Pereira has knocked it into his path, and that's great defending by Romelu Lukaku. Big sprint back by the Belgian striker. Throw in taken quickly. Pereira to Decore. Decore takes it left, takes a shot. It's on target from Decore, but it's saved by David De Gea to his right.
It's got to be something special, Tom, hasn't it, to beat De Gea from there? And it's just sort of cut back on his left foot, and I thought, no, don't take the shot on. But I guess they're getting to that stage where getting a little bit desperate, time's rapidly running out. It wasn't a bad effort, but certainly De Gea had a good sight of it all the way and safely washed it into his hands.
Will there be any further chances for Watford? Hughes has won it in the centre circle, left to Pereira. Wants an option ahead of him. Gray is that option. Here he is now. Andre Gray into Hughes, back to Gray. Challenge for Fellaini. All a bit tight through the centre there for Watford, and it's over the top to the Lukaku. Down the right channel, he will just keep it on. It's up against Messina. Pogba's there for support. Here he is now. Paul Pogba. Up against Capoue, drops the shoulder, but it's well read by Capoue. 3 minutes added on at the end of the 90 here at Vicarage Road. Decore on the floor, left to Pereira, back to Decore again. So many options going forward, they all want it. Watford players, Success is one of those players. Here he is now, Success, driving in the area, blocked off brilliantly by Fellaini. Matic though has lost it in the area to Deeney. Then Hughes cuts inside, shot by Hughes, blocked by Matic, hacked away by Matic. Clinging on, Manchester United still pushing for this one. Watford. Messina down the line, challenged by Valencia, out of play for a throw, and Jose Mourinho makes a well-timed substitution here. Eric Vai is going to be coming on. He's going to take the sting out of the way this game has been developing for the last couple of minutes, and it will be Valencia, the captain, who's going to be going off, and I don't think he's going to take Well, I think he is going to take, in fact, a lot of time over it. He's having a chat to Mike Dean now for some reason. He's given the captain's armband to Mike Dean. He's taken his shin pads off and just get off the field.
Yeah,
surely it should be Mike Dean's concern here.
He's doing all that he can to just run the clock down. A clever substitution from Mourinho. Bringing Bailly on, he'll add some stability and strength in there. But most definitely just doing everything that they can just to run that clock down now. Looked on the back foot, Watford looked dangerous when Isaac was running through there. You had a moment where you thought he was just going to get a yard or two to get a shot away, but just seemed to stumble under his own feet.
Ball pumped forward over the head of Deeney. Can't be kept on by Kiko Firmino. Going to be a goal kick, which De Gea will take his time over. The Deeney's challenge, the United player has stayed down. Again, a bit of time wasting here. Some Watford fans are on their way out. Not many though, as Vicarage Road is been a great place to play for these players, and some great vociferous support as well in almost all of their games. But it is the United fans you can hear singing, because they feel they are just about over the line here, thanks to a brilliant rearguard action, mainly from this man, Marouane Fellaini, who's won another header here, but it's gone as far as Hughes. Foul by Matic, who has been yellow carded, and I think this should probably be a second yellow card for Nemanja Matic. Yes, it is. And Nemanja Matic, in the dying seconds, will be sent off for Manchester United, and it's hard to argue with that.
I agree. He's got no argument, Tom. It was a pretty desperate sort of challenge. I think he knew he didn't have the legs to sort of recover, and he's just tried stepping across and making contact. It's a foul nowadays, and it's a booking. He's not arguing it, but it's a silly one, and what it does more importantly give is an opportunity to Watford to just put one final ball into the Manchester United box. Can they get this equaliser?
Silly for Matic, because Hughes is going nowhere there. Looks like he may have just overrun that, but Matic takes him out, takes the second yellow, and it will be a chance, as Franny was saying, for one final chance for Watford to drop this ball in the penalty area. Success, Deeney, Gray, big physical players. Decore's got some power. Ball is whipped in by Hughes towards the back post. Oh, save by David De Gea in the 94th minute. Watford won the ball in the air. A host of players going for it, but it's knocked out for a corner, which they're taking right now. Messina with it, right hand side. Mike Dean has stopped them because Smalling has stayed down in the area. Mike Dean, what are you doing?
Well, incredible, absolutely incredible, almost breathless and speechless. It's a fantastic header back across De Gea's goal, and not for the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time he's come to save Manchester United. What a save again, not for the first time in this game either. There's so many bodies in and around De Gea. Watford doing their best to put United off.
Ball in now, De Gea away! Oh, it's come off David De Gea, who's ended up in the net. The ball hasn't. And the final whistle was gone. We'll need a replay to work out exactly what just happened there. De Gea may well have got the final touch. He's ended up in the back of the net. Final whistle was gone. Victory for Manchester United. The fans have unfortunately thrown a red flare on the pitch. But despite that, there will still be celebrations well deserved from United players. Mourinho goes over to clap the travelling fans who sang his name for so much of this match. United have won it by 2-1. Let's get the very best of the action. Heel to Deeney. Fellaini intercepts. Deeney again! Oh, what a save! What a save by David De Gea from Troy Deeney. Smalling recovers. Back to Young. Left-footed cross in the area. Romelu Lukaku. The offside flag doesn't go up, and Romelu Lukaku, the flat track bully, has scored again. Different corner this time towards the big man. Fellaini at the back, Smalling in the area for 2. Oh, what a finish by Chris Smalling. Controls on the chest and volleys the ball home. Magnificent for Mourinho's men. Watford 0, Manchester United 2. Run towards the penalty area, breaks to Cafu, cut back to Gray.